Like a garden snail leaves a trail behind, a story snail leaves a tail behind. Share our stories and you may find you can tell a story too.
Hello everyone. Welcome to another storytelling assembly. Did you know that on April the 22nd every year it's Earth Day? Well, that's a day when all of the nations on the Earth think about ways that we can look after the planet that we all live on. Planet Earth does need some looking after. There are bits of it that are disappearing. In fact, even some things that for our grandparents or our great-grandparents might have been creatures and plants that they saw every day are much rarer to see now, or to hear, like, for example, the dawn chorus. I wonder if you've ever heard a dawn chorus, or if you know what that is. There are plenty of places today where they haven't heard a dawn chorus in a long time. And that's probably why there's also a dawn chorus day. It happens on the first Sunday in May. Well, I would like to tell you a story about the dawn chorus and about the planet Earth as it was back in the very beginning. And this story comes all the way from Australia. Long, long ago, right back at the beginning, when everything was still deciding what it wanted to be, the sky was joined to the earth at all four corners, and underneath it the creatures had to creep around in dark little tunnels. Trees and plants would start to grow up, and then they'd hit the sky, turn, and bend back down towards the ground, and everything was dark and small. And the creatures that suffered most from that were the birds, because the birds had wings, but they didn't know what they were for, until one day a magpie stretched out his wing and had a good look at it, and then thought, I've worked out what it's for. We're supposed to fly. He gathered all the other birds around him and he said, look, we've got wings. We've been made to fly. So it must be our job to raise the sky so that we've got space to fly around. And he said to the birds, when we raise the sky, we'll be able to fly. There'll be air and light. There'll be day and night. So push. Push, push! Then all of the birds braced their heads and their shoulders against the sky, spread their wings and pushed their feet against the ground, and they began to push and push and push. And as they did so, they all started to sing and chant together, if we raise the sky, we'll be able to fly. There'll be air and light, there'll be day and night, so push, push, push! As they all pushed together, there was a creak, and a tiny strip of light appeared on the horizon as the sky started to move up away from the earth. And when the birds saw that, they got even more excited, and they sang even louder. When we raise the sky, we'll be able to fly. There'll be air and light. There'll be day and night. So push, push, push. And then they heard a popping sound as one of the corners of the earth popped off the sky, and another, and another, and another. And the birds were finally able to start flapping their wings. They had a bit more space now, and all together they were singing, if we raise the sky, we'll be able to fly. There'll be air and light, there'll be day and night, so push, push, push. And as they all pushed together, the sky lifted, and more light flooded in from that crack across the horizon. And the birds' feet left the floor for the first time so that they could push even higher. And that's the moment when the ostrich realised that unlike all of the other birds, he couldn't fly. But he kept pushing as much as he could until his legs stretched and his neck stretched. And then finally, when the other birds had lifted the sky too high for him, he was so embarrassed that he ran away, and he's still running today. Meanwhile, the other creatures on the earth were starting to notice what was going on. The kangaroo stood up on her hind legs so that she could watch the sky going upwards. All of the trees and plants were springing up into the new space, and Koala ran up the tallest tree right to the very top. And meanwhile the birds were all still, pushing and pushing and pushing, and as they did, the sky started to float. And the birds were singing, "Now we've raised the sky, we're able to fly. There's air and light, there's day and night, so sing, sing, sing." And if you go out very early in the morning, and if you're in a place where there are birds, somewhere out in the countryside maybe, just as the first crack of light appears on the horizon at the dawn, you will hear them all start to sing. And as the light floods into the new day, you will hear all the birds around you singing beautiful songs, and you will know what they're singing. We raised the sky. Now we're able to fly. There is air and light. There's day and night. So sing, sing, sing. And that's what the dawn chorus is. Every morning you can hear the birds celebrating as they remember what they did to bring the light flooding in on that very first day. And maybe you can celebrate Earth Day as well. Why don't you ask your grown-ups what their favourite animals or birds were when they were little, and then see if you can find the same ones to see, or find a story about them, or write a story about them. And if you do, send it to us. So it only remains for me to say Happy Earth Day, and I hope to hear your story soon. So, Happy Earth Day, and I hope to hear your story soon.